before the fires of Sinai burned, before the law was etched into stone, there was another revelation, a hidden chronicle, dictated by an angel, buried in time. This is the Book of Jubilees, and it tells a version of history the world was never meant to remember. They called it Lesser Genesis, not because it lacked, but because it revealed too much. For generations, it lay forgotten, erased by councils, dismissed by scribes, until fragments rose from the sand, Dead Sea Scrolls whispering again. The Book of Jubilees, a text once known by the ancients, and buried by the fearful. It claims to be the voice of heaven itself, a timeline not written by man, but by the angel of the presence, a divine being who stood beside the throne of God. To Moses, this angel did speak, and what he revealed was far more than just commandments. On the Mount of Revelation, as fire consumed the peaks and the earth trembled beneath, Moses was taken, not only by the Spirit, but by the one who walked in the fire, the angel of the presence, a servant of the Most High, one who beheld the face of God and lived. He spoke not in thunder, but in eternity. He opened the scrolls of heaven and said, "Write the words I tell you, for these are the jubilees of years, the secrets of time, written and sealed before the foundation of the earth." And so began a tale not of myth, but of memory, long before the waters rose, before the cries of the drowned were heard in the deep. The earth was already corrupted. It began when watchers fell. Holy ones sworn to God descended into desire, and with them came Azazel. He taught warfare. He taught sorcery. He unsealed mysteries the Creator never gave to man. The Book of Jubilees names him, condemns him, and curses the earth because of him. All sin came from Azazel. It says, "To him assign all guilt." But Azazel was not alone. 200 came with him, and they took women, bore children, giants, and spilled blood upon the ground. The cries of mankind rose, and heaven could no longer bear the sound. So came the decree that the sons of the heavens be bound, that Azazel be cast into the wilderness, to Judil, the cursed place, bound in chains, buried beneath jagged stones. And the Book of Jubilees remembers the fire that would await him at the end of days. And yet something else survived. The spirits of the giants, not flesh but shadow. They became the demons, evil spirits that wander the earth, seeking flesh, whispering sin. But not all of them were destroyed. One being stood before the throne, Mastamo, chief of the wicked, and he made a request. Let a tenth of the spirits remain, to torment, to test, to tempt, and heaven permitted it. Mastamo became an accuser, a tormentor, a prosecutor who operated under divine authority. He is not the devil, not quite, but he is old, and he is dangerous, and God uses him still. So came the flood, a deluge to erase corruption, to bury giants, to cleanse the earth. But even Noah knew the darkness had not vanished. And so in Jubilees, he makes a covenant. He offers incense. He writes prayers, and the angel seals them on heavenly tablets, the divine record of promises, oaths, and law. Heaven keeps the books, and every act is remembered. The Book of Jubilees reveals something else. Time itself was corrupted. The world followed the moon, but the angels followed the sun. A perfect 364-day year. Not 365. Not lunar months. This calendar, said the angel, was divine. To abandon it was to walk into error. The festivals would be off. Sabbaths would be broken. And the appointed times would fade. And so darkness grew, not just in deed, but in time itself. The world had begun again, but mankind had not changed. From Ur of the Chaldeans, a man heard a voice, a call not from within, but from above. Go to the land I will show you. I will make your name great, and through you all nations shall be blessed. His name, Abram. But the Book of Jubilees shows more than his journey. It shows angels watching, directing, testing, and in the stars they wrote his destiny. Count them, said the Lord. If you can, so shall your descendants be. But this promise, it came at a cost. The angel of the presence revealed what Moses never wrote. That Abraham was shown visions of fire, of beasts divided, of darkness that fell at noon, and a voice spoke of slavery, of nations, of deliverance. Your seed will be strangers in a land not theirs. But I will judge the nation that enslaves them, and they shall come out with great possessions, a covenant sealed with fire, bound not only by blood, but by time. For Jubilees counts the years, every moment, every event, locked in a sacred cycle, a jubilee. Then came the ultimate test. The knife, the wood, the fire. But the Book of Jubilees speaks the unspeakable. It was not just God who tested Abraham. It was Mastema, the accuser, standing once again before the throne, whispering, "Test him. See if he truly fears you. Tell him to offer the boy." And so it was done. Abraham's hand did not tremble, but Isaac's eyes. They saw the fire and understood. But the voice came swift. "Abraham, do not lay a hand on the child. Now I know." A ram appeared, a substitute, a symbol, yet behind it all, Mastema smiled, for he knew now what God already knew, that even the righteous tremble before the unknown. The angel spoke again to Moses. "The law you received was not born on Mount Sinai. It was written before the stars. Every ordinance, every feast, every day of rest, all written on heavenly tablets, observed by angels, long before man walked the earth. The Sabbath was not invented. It was revealed from the divine order, a rhythm echoing from creation. And the feasts, Passover, first fruits, atonement, all reflections of heavenly patterns. Break them, and you break the harmony of the universe. Even the patriarchs were not spared from judgment. In Jubilees, the sins of Reuben, Simeon, and Levi are magnified, their hidden acts exposed. Reuben's lust, Simeon and Levi's bloodlust at Shechem, Judah's encounter with Tamar. The angel does not hide their failures, for all is recorded. But with each fall, there is also repentance, a turning, and a blessing. The sons of Jacob become tribes. The tribes become a nation. And a covenant is renewed, not with perfect men, but with those who fear God. But not all nations are blessed. Jubilees proclaims curses against the seed of Ham, against the children of Ishmael and Esau. It names the transgressors, records their coming wickedness, and warns Israel to remain apart. Do not mix with them. Do not follow their gods. Do not share their festivals. For the nations are filled with idols, blood sacrifices, sorcery, and demons that still walk in secret. And if Israel mingles with them, their judgment will be delayed, but not avoided. The angel opens another scroll, the Book of Division. It outlines the inheritance of every nation, boundaries set by God, divided by angels. Each people has its territory, each has its destiny. But the land of Canaan was never meant for the Canaanites. It was reserved from the beginning for the seed of Shem, for Abraham, for Israel. To dwell in it was theft, to remain in it was rebellion, and God would reclaim it. At the end of the book, the angel shows Moses what is to come: the rebellion of Israel, the exile, the destruction of the sanctuary, but then a promise, a return, a purification, a time when God would dwell again among his people. And then Azazel would burn, Mastemah would fall, and the demons would vanish forever. The Jubilee of Jubilees, the end of all ends. The angel's voice grew heavy, not with wrath, but with sorrow. The children of Israel will turn away. They will abandon my commandments. They will desecrate my Sabbaths, and serve gods that do not see, nor hear, nor save. The Book of Jubilees does not flatter. It does not romanticize. It warns. The fall would come not from without, but from within. The temple would be profaned, the land defiled, and the covenant forgotten. All was written on the heavenly tablets, a history foretold before it happened. But the angel did not end with despair. He spoke of a remnant, a generation yet unborn, one that would awaken. In the end of days, they will return to me with all their heart, and I will remember the covenant I made with their fathers. Then shall the curses be lifted. Then shall Eden's gate be remembered. Then the fire of holiness will burn again. And the Lord, that ancient rhythm of creation, will be restored. But what of the enemy? What of the one cast into Judil, bound beneath the earth, under jagged rocks, in the wilderness of shadows? Azazel. The Book of Jubilees declares it clearly. The whole earth has been corrupted through the works taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. And when the final Jubilee comes, the judgment will not be delayed. The fire prepared for the fallen will be opened. Azazel will be consumed. The spirits he loosed, erased. No longer will they whisper in the darkness. No longer will they seduce the sons of men. The chains will hold. The sentence will be carried out. Mastemah too will fall. The accuser, the prosecutor, once given permission to test and torment, he will lose his place. He who sought to destroy shall himself be destroyed. There will be no more need for testing, no more cause for torment, for the world will be purified. The spirits of wickedness banished, the voices of darkness silenced, and the presence of the Most High will fill the earth. In the Book of Jubilees, time itself is holy. Every seventh day a Sabbath. Every seventh year a release. Every 7 sevens a jubilee. And at the end of 49 jubilees comes the restoration. The Jubilee of Jubilees. The ultimate return. The cosmic release of all things. Slaves are freed. Land is restored. Wrongs are made right. And the veil between heaven and earth is torn away. The righteous will walk with the angels. The dead will rise in glory. And God will dwell among men forever. The angel looked upon Moses, not with fire, but with eternity in his eyes. These words are not for you alone. They are for your children, and your children's children. For a day will come when they will seek me with all their hearts. And when they do, they will remember this book, these jubilees, this sacred timeline, buried by men, but remembered by heaven. And in that remembering, they will return. The Book of Jubilees was cast aside, branded as myth, labeled as dangerous, silenced, but now it speaks again, and it tells us that angels still watch, that time is still holy, that sin has a name, and that judgment is not far off. Azazel waits, Mastema stirs, and the days grow few. But for the righteous, there is a promise that when the final trumpet sounds, and the heavens are rolled back like a scroll, the books will be opened, and amongst them, the Book of Jubilees, a forbidden timeline, a divine warning, a holy map, leading home